Aloha and welcome to COM 325/425, Digital Photography for Social Change. My name's Tom and I will be your host, your guide, your instructor, your mentor, maybe even your friend for the first several weeks of this class as we explore the camera and how to make the camera do what you want it to do. The latter part of the semester, I'm going to hand you over to another professor who's going to take you through using photography as a tool and really help you grow as a photographer. So to get started, let's take a look at the cameras. Now we will issue you each one of these cameras. This is a Nikon D3500. If you happen to have a camera of your own that you'd prefer to work with, talk to me. It's probably going to be okay. A lot of the stuff that I talk about will be very similar. All of these types of cameras have similarities. It's kind of like cars. If you know how to drive a Ford, you can probably drive a Honda. You might not know how to get the stereo preset to work. You might not be able to figure out where the air conditioner or the cruise control are. God help you if it's a standard. But generally speaking, if you can play with one camera, you can play with most cameras. The same thing that applies to so much in life. Let's just take a quick look at what's in the box here. All right, so of course it comes with a case. There's actually in each of these an owner's manual for the camera. If you really get desperate, you can pop this open and maybe you can find an answer to something. Now, of course, we have the camera itself, which should come preloaded with an SD card inside. We have a spare lens, which is a telephoto. And we have a battery charger. And then I'll also hand to you separately a battery. These are good for several hundred pictures, so only having one really isn't usually an issue, as long as you keep an eye on it and charge it every few days or every couple of weeks, depending on how itchy your trigger finger is. Now, you've been playing with electronics your whole life. I'm not going to tell you how to put the SD card in. You've got that figured out already, right? And I'm not going to tell you how to put a battery in. Probably you've done enough of that you've beat me to it. I do want to talk about one little thing here, though. The interchangeable lenses are a really nice feature. Both of these lenses have some zoom capability. The shorter lens is a wider angle. The longer lens will reach out and touch things from farther away. Kind of intuitive. The shorter lens, let me talk about this real quick. It has a travel mode, and right now this is actually in the travel mode. There's a little button on the side, and if you push that button, get it out of the way. If you push that button and then rotate the zoom lens, you'll see that the lens grows longer. And now as I play with the zoom lens, you can see that it's changing shape and size. It's getting longer and shorter. And then to put it back into the storage mode so it fits in the case easier, again, I just press that button and then rotate it further until I'll hear it click in place. So all that's doing is it's making the lens a little bit more compact for travel. When you interchange lenses, now you'll notice that this other lens has got a plastic cap on the back. And this is important. We want to protect the optics from dust, from lint. We're on Oahu, there's lots of beaches, from sand, from everything. We want them to stay clean and undamaged. The same thing with the inside of the camera. When we remove the lens, there'll be a huge opening in the front of the camera that goes straight inside to where the most sensitive electronics are. The sensor is in there, the mechanism that flips the mirror in and out of position. It doesn't take very much foreign matter in here, an eyelash, a couple of grains of sand, to really ruin a whole bunch of pictures. You'd be surprised at what a huge blob of ruined will appear in a negative or appear in a picture from a very, very, very small bit of garbage inside there. So when we swap this out, we want to try and do it somewhere that's clean, not windy, not dusty. But B, we also want to move quickly. So we want to get this lens off. We want to move the cover from the back of one lens to the back of the other lens, and then we want to put the new lens on. Now before we get started, we just make sure that we're ready to go here. The button to release the lens is here on the very left side of the camera. And if you can see that in the close-up there. And what I will do is I will push this button. I will twist this lens in a clockwise fashion, and it will lift right out like that. And again, I can see the back of this wider angle lens, and I can see into the guts of the camera. We don't want to leave it like this for very long. But now that it's off, if you look very closely, there's a little white dot here on the ring. About the 2 o'clock position, I would say. Anyway, that's an alignment marker, and it goes along with the alignment marker, the little white dot on the edge of the lens. Okay, so I'm going to take the plastic cap off of the telephoto lens, use it to cover the wider angle lens. I'm going to find the alignment dot on the telephoto lens. I'm going to line that alignment dot up with the alignment dot on the camera. And it might take just a little bit of fiddling before it drops in there. Then I want to twist it till it clicks, just like that. Now this is ready to go. Now I delayed a little bit because I was talking my way through it. Normally I would try to do this in a few seconds. Don't get frantic, don't race, because you'll end up jamming, you'll make damaging things. Just in a calm, conscientious fashion, just make sure that you keep the parts covered that are most delicate and shouldn't be exposed. Never store the camera without a lens on it. Again, if you leave that opening there and you stick this in the case, you're going to get lint, you're going to get dust, you're going to get things inside the camera itself, which are going to settle on the sensor, and they're going to ruin many of your pictures, basically all the pictures you take from that point on until we get the sensor cleaned off. So again, if I want to take this off and switch back to the other one, I press the little button. I twist the lens about 90 degrees, and then it'll just lift right out of there. Okay, and I'm going to set it down. You'll notice I'm setting it the business end down, but I have the lens cap on to protect it. Right? I don't want to set it sideways because I don't want it to go rolling off. I'm going to take the plastic cap off the one lens, use it to protect the second one. I'm going to find the alignment dot on my incoming lens. I'm going to find the alignment dot on the body of the camera. Match those up, give it just a little bit of a wiggle so I'm sure it's going in, twist it until it pops. Okay. There's a lot of bells and whistles on this camera, and starting with the next video, we'll be talking about some of those.